Subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and never miss an update from latest news.
Parents these days invest their energy, their money into good healthcare, good education, save lots of money for education for their kids, and lots of stuff which are absolutely essential. But good parenting is also about certain nuance and layers factor. With me, none other than Maria Goretti, who is hosting the fourth segment of a very important show. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, please tell us, just give us a glimpse. What does it feel like to be hosting the show, which is so important?
You know, the fourth season is very interesting because it deals with a parenting style that starts from a preschooler to a preteen. Now, a preteen is where my daughter is. So while the rest of the show is very interesting for me to partake of, and I can give my gyan there, it's when we're getting closer to the preteen that I'm listening to everyone with rapt attention, because that's where I need help. And as a mom, you're always looking at other moms, you're always looking at other experiences so that you can better what you're doing. You know, there is no rule book as to how to be a good parent or to be a good mom. So sometimes during the show, I've been listening to certain parents say things and I'm like, oh my God, I'm completely wrong. And then certain times I'm like, I got this right. So it's been quite nice.
So what are the things? Which are the things that you have got completely right, and which are the things you still learning?
Still learning how to raise kids.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still learning. We're all still learning that, because today kids are so different. They're exposed to so much in the world. You know, so when you're talking to a kid, you're not just talking to your child. You're talking to your child who's talking to 10 other children who are watching television and the internet from all around the world. So you're not just saying, so why did you do this? So in their mind, I'm sure various things about various situations are flashing and they're giving you an answer according to that. So, yeah.
Does the internet make things easier, or it's like you're learning from that medium as well?
You know, there are pros and cons to both. I love the internet. It's made the world smaller. But there is a lot of information available that I probably may not want my daughter and my son to have right now, that they can if they want to. So, yeah, so that's where we are. But, you've got to take the good with the bad and go ahead with it.
That's true. You are covering this show with other angles as well, the angles which are not generally necessarily covered by the media, especially in the magazines or in the shows, which are generic. This is about psychological factors as well. What exactly?
But I think, see, when parenting has to deal with not just looking after a kid, you're looking after them from every level, whether it is physical, emotional, spiritual, and I would say philosophical, or there are so many planes to every kid. So when you are doing a parenting show, you somehow have to keep all that at the back of your head. You also know that when you are a parent, you are not just dealing with what that child is telling you at that point of time. Maybe that has happened, or they're telling you this because it has come from some backstory that has taken place. So it's like there is so much, and all that has been placed so beautifully on the show, from a child going to school, to making friends, to eating right, to living in a place that is safe for him or her, to peer pressure, to not getting into bad habits, to bullying, to good touch, bad touch.
That's true.
Everything, all of it has been to sex education, which today is really, really important, because otherwise you have the internet for all kinds of information. So it's nicer that, if you have children of a certain age, that you're able to talk to them very freely about what it is, and you absolutely should, because it's important that you actually, I'm not just talking about one part, I'm talking about various things that you have to tell your child throughout their life. And, I feel as a parent, I want to tell them everything like it is. And it's better it comes from me than from anyone else.
As a host, we have watched you hosting an array of shows from various channels, including MTV, of course.
Yes.
And now coming to this, has the role shifted? Has it switched? If yes, how?
Well, the role has not really shifted because I'm still saying, hi everybody, welcome, you're watching 9 months. But the content has shifted and I'm enjoying this phase and I'm enjoying the fact that, you know, that was one phase and it was so much of fun, you know, and I loved it. I did cricket after that. After that, I went and I trained. I'm today now a chef and I do stuff with food all the time. But parenting is something I think that comes naturally to all of us. Your child makes you a parent, whether you'd like it or not. And I think it's fun to sit on a couch with so many other parents and discuss parenting and realize that, okay, so it's the same for everyone else. Yeah, boy.
You sound so fun and you look so fabulous. What exactly goes into nurturing and nourishing the anchor in you?
Nurturing and nourishing the anchor in me. I think I like to pick up projects that I enjoy, and I like to pick up projects that are interesting, you know, because if they're interesting, then you will have fun.
Right.
And I think whenever I do any piece of work, you get to meet so many new people. Okay, you get to interact with so many people, and I think that's very enriching. You always take back some little bit home, and it always enriches your life.
Okay, okay. I mean, this one, especially when you said that we are touching upon key subjects and issues like perhaps sexuality, the way kids deal with it, especially kids who entered or on the verge of entering their teens. How are you dealing with these subjects? I mean, have you done reading on that? What exactly?
Me as a
the
parent,
study is
I can
like?
only
Yeah.
tell you me as a parent. So me as a parent has had various chats with my child at various ages, you know, whereby it depends now, you know, at what age do you start this? Now, if I have a preteen, I'm definitely not giving them a complete sex education. So, but the thing is that when you keep that dialogue open, of course they look at you and think you're weird. I'm not saying no, it's not that, because maybe, you know, also they feel a bit odd because you're talking about them,
Right.
you know. But I just feel I have always been very open with my kids. And on this show, we just want to tell people that whether it is to do with eating the right food, doing the right amount of exercise, being good parents, being great children, studying well, not to bully people, being respectful to people of all genders, and your own self, your own body at the end of the day. I think it's very important for all of us parents to address everything with a very, very open and a normal way. There's nothing abnormal about
No, but
these
the
things.
reason I'm asking this question, once the flow is set, it is easier to keep the ball rolling. But how does one break the ice and initiate the conversation? That would be something
very easily. You see, I think you're growing up now and blah, blah, blah. It just depends on what kind of a relationship you have with your kids. And so you have to always take it with how receptive they are at that point of time. You know, are they listening to you? Are they feeling embarrassed? Where is this going? Also today, there are a whole lot of people who specialize in sex education for children, whereby you start with as simple things as good touch, bad touch.
True.
You know, and if you open your child to just that about safekeeping themselves, you know, and giving and kind of equipping them with the right amount of information, you know they'll be able to keep themselves safe and fine in the future.
That's correct.
You know, so, yep.
Internet is a very, very tricky medium, so to speak.
It's a very tricky
So how do you keep your show, especially this segment, very, very tight at the same time interesting?
How do I keep it? I don't know. I've shot it. Now when it gets edited, you will know.
That's correct. What more ahead? I mean, of course, this series looks interesting and it will, initiate few dialogues as well. Are you completely seduced by the world of entertainment and web series, perhaps?
Well, if you're asking me whether I am a net addict, I think I get into certain serials with my kids because they love watching stuff on the internet. So I try and do certain, like I hate long serials. I just hate them, part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm like, no, just give me a film. I want to watch a film and that's about it. But I do that with my kids because they really enjoy it. So we pick up something which is, you know, age appropriate for my 12-year-old and my going to be 15-year-old. And then we watch it together and nobody watches it on their own. So yes, I do that. But if you ask me what I love films.
You still do?
Yes, I love films.
Anything in specific?
And I love going to a theatre and getting popcorn and samosa, and I love going to film theatres alone.
Alone?
Alone. Okay. Because I anyway feel when you go for a really good film, you're not talking to the person next to you.
So absorbing it that
So
in a
I
better way.
love going early in the morning when my children have gone to school, I go for a film.
It has been proven by scientific facts that kids do learn and unlearn, and that's the best process of learning. Therefore, what has been the process for you as a mom, learning and unlearning? Perhaps?
Oh, learning that I am totally in charge of my kids, whether they would like it to be, and unlearning that no, I could say whatever I want, and they probably will not listen to me.
In that case, 9 months has so much to learn from, I'm sure.
9 months is a lot to learn from.
And people will, of course, hooked onto it, and they will watch it and post their feedback for the same as well.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm doing this. This is you call
No,
a
this is
generation
what-
gap.
no,
This is what you call
this
a
is what works
generation
on the
gap.
internet.
Oh, this is what is that? You want me
No.
to punch you with this? Okay, there it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Really, I need to
Give
do
me a
this. Thanks.